Okay, so can you all tell me what courses that you're doing at college? What A-levels you've chosen to do?
I do maths, further maths, computer science and physics.
Okay, and...
chemistry, maths and further maths.
I do biology, chemistry, psychology and core maths.
And Joe?
I do maths, further maths, chemistry and physics.
Okay, so all those courses are all in our division, Science, Maths, Computer Science division. So in terms of the subjects then, do you want to just give us a little bit of an idea, what are the good points, what are the things that you really enjoy maybe about some of those subjects that you're doing? What about yourself, Nadine?
I really like maths, and I think all of the subjects I've chosen just kind of fit together well.
And what's the favourite thing about maths? What's the highlight of a maths lesson?
I really like maths because of the problem solving aspect of it, and there's you start somewhere and there is an end point, there's something to prove, you know where you're supposed to get, so once you get there it's really satisfying. But you don't feel lost the whole time, there should be something working out.
What have you chosen to do as a career? What's the plan?
I want to go into computer science because it's quite creative, so I can bring the problem solving aspect and then my own kind of creative flair to it, so it's quite exciting.
And so in terms of a career plan, what would you ultimately like to do?
Somewhere in software engineering, or it's not fully thought out, but I know the general idea of where I want to end up. So.
Okay, good. And where have you applied?
I applied to Oxford, Bath, Imperial College, Leeds and York.
So in terms of the subjects that you're doing, Joe, why maths and further maths?
So for me, I really like the problem solving aspect of maths and the way that you can apply the knowledge that you've learnt in maths to the world around you. And it really goes well with my physics and my chemistry as well. And they're sort of hand-in-hand subjects.
And fit together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And further maths, I just chose that because I love maths.
In the way as far as teaching's concerned, how does that change in further maths?
So in maths as a whole, it's really useful. They do the type of learning is called flipped learning, where you teach yourself the subject and then come in and ask any questions that you have, problems that you have with it. And so if you've got a problem, you can ask it in class, which is a lot better than the conventional method of teaching, because you tend to do the harder questions in lesson instead of doing them at home with no teacher support. And so that's a really useful way of doing it, in my opinion.
Good. So, Sam, I know you're doing biology and you're thinking possibly of a career in medicine. Well, you're more than thinking of a career in medicine. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm hoping to do medicine at uni. One of the really helpful things that I found was at college have a pre-med programme. So we do things like mock interviews, so you're prepared for when you go into interviews. They also take you on, I went on a trip to, I think it was in Blackburn, and we went on a medical insights trip, so you got to actually speak to doctors and get a first-hand view of what they do. And also they help you gain work experience, because a thing that universities is you try to experience when you go to know what you're doing. So at college have helped me get 2 work experience. I got one at ELHT and one at Airedale, which I think have really helped me applying.
And what was the greatest aspect from those placements? What do you think you enjoyed most?
I think because one of the reasons I went on them was to check that is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because I think you don't know whether you want to do it until you've properly done it, and then I definitely want to do it. After being on it, I liked the environment that I was in, and that was where I wanted to work.
Okay. So just remind us of the subjects that you're doing again.
I do biology, chemistry, psychology and core maths.
Okay then, Ellie, so just remind us what subjects you were doing again.
Maths, further maths and chemistry.
And chemistry, okay. So how does maybe what's different in the chemistry compared to your maths?
You get to explore the practical elements a lot more and actually see the concepts you learn in class come to life, and all of the things you spend time trying to understand, it all kind of fits together and makes sense once you do the practical itself.
Okay. And so in terms of practical work, I know practical work comes into physics, chemistry and biology. So how does the practical element work? How many practicals do you need to do?
So the exam board set you 12 practicals that you have to complete, and they assess you on these, and you get given a practical endorsement certificate at the end, in which that tells universities that you've got a specific level of practical skill that they deem to be a pass. And the college also undertake another few practicals that they choose to do because they help to boost your understanding of the subject area, and they're integrated as and when you learn the content, then you do the practicals.
Yeah.
And so it's useful in that way because it helps you to understand the subject.
Yeah, that's also good in biology because biology can be sometimes complicated to read on pieces of paper, and then as you do the extra practicals, it gives you a better like visual understanding of what you're doing, so it helps it go into your head better.
So Nadine, the other way in computer science in which you're assessed is by coursework.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your computer science project?
The project's worth like 20% of your grade, and it's really good because it's the part of computer science that once you get into work, like it's the part that you're actually going to be doing, most likely. It's the part that everyone enjoys, and for it to actually count for your grade now is quite good because at GCSE I'm pretty sure you don't have like practical aspects of it that actually counts towards, and that's the part that is special about computing, I think, so it's very helpful, I guess.
What have you chosen to do in your project?
My project, I'm remaking a card game called Set. It's difficult, but it's challenging, and I think because I've chosen something that I don't think anyone is doing anything similar, so it's very independent, but I'm supported at the same time. So I can do things myself, figure out myself, which is good for like personal development, but if I get stuck I can go and get help, which is I think a good way to learn, rather than like being supported the whole way through. I think going through it yourself first is...
So it gives that level of independence.
Yeah. Which is quite important, so...
Okay, Ali, can you tell us a little bit about your career aspirations?
At university I want to study maths with computer science, with a year abroad hopefully. I don't study computer science now, but it's like included in a lot of my subjects, and I did robotics enrichment in first year,
Okay.
which kind of like brought my interest for computer science back alive again, and I realised I really wanted to do that into my future career.
So the maths helps to support the computer science?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
In further maths, there's a part called modelling with algorithms, which is my favourite part, which is a lot of computer science and just the understanding of how it works and things like that.
Just thinking about college, you know, you all chose to come to Nelson College. Can you tell us why? And would you recommend that to anybody else?
I think I'd really recommend coming here purely because it's not, I won't call it a family, but everyone's like nice and close together. Like I could go to any of my teachers whenever they want. I could email them if I'm not in college and they'd always be there to help me. They also do workshops every week, so if you don't understand something in lesson, you can like go in smaller groups and ask them in the lessons, which makes especially transition from high school to college a lot easier because everyone worries about coming to college and it's nowhere near as bad as you think.
You were nodding there, Joe, go on then.
The careers aspect of how they teach you to choose your career and how they encourage you to find what you want to do in life has really helped me. So I had no idea what I wanted to do, and then through my tutorials I've discovered what I want to do at uni. I've had help writing my personal statement, help applying to unis, and so it's all been really useful in helping me to decide what I want to do and helping me decide who I want to be. And I suppose, like Sam said, the ethos of the college, everyone is really kind to each other, and it's just a really nice atmosphere to be learning in and to be a part of.
Okay. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think at college I've become more like me, I guess, because at secondary school you get told to do a lot of things, but I think at college you have much more freedom, and like although it's scary trying to figure things out on your own, it's really good for yourself to like know who you are, and but there's also such a good support like base at college. You can go to like any teachers, there's good pastoral care, like you can go to anyone, you know, have a chat if you're feeling overwhelmed. But at the same time, there's like, we're not bombarded with like rules and things we have to do. We kind of figure it out for ourselves as well, which I personally like, the general freedom of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You're going to say, you were nodding there, go on,
Yeah,
Ellie.
the tutor support and teacher support is what is brought me towards here, because you never feel like you're overwhelming your teachers or tutors. You need too much help. There's like no such thing as too much help. And it's really great to always, have that extra support.
So would you all recommend college to somebody else?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we're in our geology classroom this morning, and we're just about to do a practical that you've done before. You've done a couple of times actually, about a year ago, in the first few weeks of your time here at Nelson and Colm. We said at the time that minerals are the building blocks of rocks. So when we look at a rock, we can see it's made up of lots of different minerals, and you're just going to remind yourselves of how you tested to identify those minerals. So, Hannah, do you want to have a quick look at this mineral and tell me what you can see about it?
So it's quite heavy, so that means it's quite dense. And if you look at that, you can tell it's magnetic because there's a magnet on the back of this, and it like sticks to it. So that means it's got magnetic minerals in it, kind of like iron, right? So this is magnetite.
Okay, brilliant. And we've looked at a number of minerals during our time here at Geology. We've talked about their wide use in society, from mobile phones to within this building. So we've got another interesting mineral as well. So I wondered, Maria, could you have a look at this mineral for us and just describe a couple of things that you notice?
So, just first of all, looking at it, I'd probably check first thing, just because of the crystal habit, so that's sort of like the shape that it has, that it might be calcite. So, and one way we can check that is by adding dilute hydrochloric acid to it. So if I just add a little bit of this, just a few drops, what we can see is that it effervesces, which basically means it fizzes. That shows me that carbon dioxide is being let off. So I can just after doing that little test tell that is calcite.
What would you say would be kind of some of your favourite topics that you've studied?
So in the first year, my favourite topic was fossils. So we did quite a lot on that, and it was my favourite because I just found it really fascinating how we just all them old organisms that are no longer around, and how they were sort of when they were around then, the conditions and stuff that they were around, but now they can't be around because of different conditions now. So just basically how the Earth's changed and they can't now inhabit the Earth as it is now.
I think my favourite topic was probably plate tectonics, because I've always liked kind of volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, that kind of thing. Same in when we do geography as well. I just find it really interesting. You just kind of see them when they erupt and how that kind of has happened from within the Earth, and I find that really fascinating.
And do you think you'll find this interest in geology useful going forwards to whatever it is that you're going to do next?
Yeah, definitely. I'm probably not going to apply to do geology, but I just think that the fact that I've done an A-level in geology just widens what I've covered, and I know much more than other people that haven't done it about the Earth and everything. I just think it gives me an edge about how I see the world and stuff as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different sciences in geology, so there's a lot of chemistry in it, and there's physics in it, and biology. And because I want to go on to do earth science at uni, I feel like it helps a lot, because I've done it at uni, and even if I want to do a geology degree at uni, they start from the basics, because not everyone's done it, but I feel like me having done it, it just helps me kind of have an extra step forward.
Yeah. And with chemistry, it sort of overlaps a little bit, so it's helped me in chemistry. Well, chemistry's helped me understand geology more, and I really like how it sort of goes hand in hand with the other subjects as well.
Yeah.
With biology as well, it overlaps with that as well.
So you're in your second year here at Nelson and Colm College. Would you mind discussing why you chose this college and whether you'd recommend it to other people?
Yeah, so for me, honestly, the reason I chose Nelson was because it's closest to my house. But after coming here, and also because it's got really good results and everything as well, but and I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is when I came here. And now I know why they're topping the league tables and stuff with all the results as well, because I'll get amazing support and everything as well at college.
Yeah, it's same for me. I don't live very far, but I did go to quite a lot of other colleges and kind of sixth forms to look around, and I don't know, just the atmosphere here was a lot more friendly, and all the teachers were very passionate about the subjects they taught, and so I thought that was quite good, because I feel like if you have a good teacher who's passionate about what you do, it's like you know you're going to get good grades, and then the grades kind of reflect that as well, like you said.
Mm.
I would definitely recommend Nelson Cotton College. I just think it's really good. To put it bluntly, it's just really good college to go to.